soon, soon, soon.
It's Gabriel. What's up? There we go.
Hey, what's up, guys? Everybody's waiting
Doing
for
all right,
the.
Gabriel?
Yeah, my head is spinning a little bit, but other than that, that's it.
How come your head's spinning?
Headaches.
Headaches with the energies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's everything, guys? How's life?
Good, good. I just got back from my little vacation, so it's good.
And I need that.
Yeah, I was only gone 4 days, but man, it felt like I was gone a week or two. It was great.
Oh my gosh. And what's for today? What's on today?
Shadow work.
Shadow work. All right.
Isn't that perfect for the moon?
I know.
Hi, Gabriel.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine. What is shadow work? I don't know what that is.
You'll find out. It's nothing bad. It's actually good.
What?
It's
When the sun
nothing
hits
bad.
you,
It's
create a
actually good.
shadow.
You find out what it is.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit better.
Alrighty.
Close this out. Alrighty. Close that out. Be okay. Alrighty. Wait a few more minutes before we start.
Okay, get something.
Close this out. Fine. Water. Let's see. Miss Maya, how are you today?
Which one? Which one of the Mayas?
Miss Maya D.
I'm good, guys. How are you?
Good. Miss Maya from Pennsylvania was just here like the first one, so she already so I already had spoken with her.
Okay.
Hi, Maya D.
Hello. How are you, Maya?
Yeah, fine. Thank you.
Let's see how it's gonna be today. I'm curious about it.
I think I'm gonna watch because I don't know what it is.
Oh, I have no idea what it is either. So, but I'm here.
Well, it's okay because it's not, it's shadow work, so that you know. And I'm mainly going to talk about it and my experiences of what I've learned. If we have time, we might do a little meditation. You know, we might not. It's because shadow work is very individualistic. And as you know, well, so that you know, shadow work is you're going into yourself and you're facing and confronting your own shadows.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
wow.
I probably
Alright.
have been doing that the last 10 years.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, if
Without
chances are, if you're
knowing.
here, chances are, if you're here, you've been doing shadow work whether you realize it or not. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's see who's here today. Oh, Cynthia is here today.
Hey, I am. I'm back from
Yeah.
my trip.
Awesome. Monica. So looks like Monica's vacation is over, huh? She showed up yesterday. She's coming today. That's great.
It's temporary, Maya. I don't know.
Monique, how you doing today?
It's Monique.
Out. But I'm here.
All right, no problem. Waiting a little bit longer before we start.
What are we doing today?
Everybody comes on. What are we doing today? What are we doing today? Shadow work.
Oh, that's what, yes, thank you. Right on time.
All right.
Where'd you go, Carlos?
I'm still here. I'm just doing some things. I'm just waiting for a few more people to show up before I start.
Oh, okay.
But I'm still here.
Are we on YouTube yet?
Yes, we're on YouTube already. If you look up your upper right corner, well, you're on the phone, right?
Yeah, I'm on the
You
phone.
should see something that says live on YouTube and recording.
Okay. Yeah, I see
Okay.
it.
Alrighty. Everybody got their water?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Okay. Does anyone want to start us off with the 5 rules?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay, Miss Cynthia, go ahead.
Okay, the 5 rules. Number 1, you exist. Number 2, you are here and now. Number 3, you are one with all that is. The all is the one and the one is the all. Number 4, what you send out comes back to you. Number 5, everything changes except rules 1 through 4.
Very good. Anybody want to expand on that? Or you got a pretty good idea of what that all means?
This fits right into shadow work, that's for sure.
It's going to be, yeah, you're going to see how that also influences shadow work and what you're also supposed to be probably some ways you can use those 5 rules to only for shadow work, but to also manifest. Or at least have manifest better things. Because that will be included in today's class. I might not specifically say, hey, you know, point it out, but it's going to be in there because it's part of the healing work. And when we reach a certain point in the healing work, you'll be able to more consciously choose. You'll be able to more consciously make a choice as to how you want to feel and work towards that direction. Headphones. All right, who wants to go ahead? Let's do the food and water manifestation. Who wants to go ahead and do that? All right, I'll do the. You guys hear me okay?
Yeah, can.
Okay.
A lot of them are muted though.
All right, no problem.
Yes, can hear you.
All right, what we're going to do is I'm going to do the food manifestation, but I'm going to tell you straight up, I do it the quick and fast way. All right. So just simply, you don't have to, I don't have to hear it. Just say Barame. Time to manifest the food and drink that I like. Let it weigh, for me, 1,000 pounds. So you guys choose what you want to choose. For me, 1,000 pounds, put it directly into my stomach. We'll do this for Barame. Thank you, Barame. All right, this might not be connected. It's no big deal. It's not connected. I'll just shut it off. All right. Who's gonna do the water? Everybody want to do the water?
I'll do it.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, bottom A. Place a glass in my left hand. Fill it with crystal clear water from heaven. Put some lime and ginger in it. Put some coconut in it from heaven. And put some superhuman energies into it to make us strong and healthy. Can you do that by me? Yes. I'm blowing on it. And put that in everybody's body now and everybody on YouTube. Thank you, Barame.
Thank you.
All
And
right.
I'm sending the glass back to heaven.
Thank you, Carlos. Thank you,
How
Cynthia.
you all? So, how
Thank
you
you.
doing?
Hello. Hi, my
Hello.
snuggle. Did I miss?
Hello, Dr. K.
Yes.
Greetings.
Greetings.
We just
Well,
started.
I just have an amazing experience. I just talked to LT, and he gonna give everyone another class. Yay!
Yay.
Yay.
Cryptoid, you know. And we just have a heart-to-heart talk, and he is with us all the way. You know, he's not leaving he's not going anywhere. And it's beautiful. So it's amazing thing, and the future, I can tell this much: the future look bright. So you gotta wear shade.
I remember that. I remember that song. The song or saying like that.
Oh boy.
I just have a heart-to-heart talk to Kimmy McBimmy. He's finalizing the game, so it's gonna be good.
Okay.
And as for those who is with me, because you believe in yourself, you give yourself value. That's why you with me now, all the way through. And those who is not with us, because they don't believe in themselves, they giving the pilot, the you know what's called the hymns, to someone else, you know.
Yeah.
And that will lead to nowhere. What is this?
Ah,
Excuse me for a second. Hold on.
We'll wait for Sol.
That's good news. I'm happy to hear about LT.
oh yeah, definitely. I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love LT. He's wonderful. He's done a lot to help all of us.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes,
Yes.
definitely. Mhm.
But in the meantime, anybody want to go ahead and do the water?
I just
Change
did.
the water.
I just
I
did.
thought Cynthia
Oh,
just
she done.
did.
Oh,
Yeah, she did the manifest. Oh, okay. We'll do that.
You-
We'll go ahead with that one.
The only difference, she manifested the glass, but I think she changed the water into
She
the
didn't
ginger.
change. She manifested the water. She
In the
didn't change the
glass.
water. So it'll work.
Oh,
I put the
Okay.
glass in, and then I put the water in, the crystal clear water from heaven, and then I put the
See?
ingredients in, and then put it in our stomach, and then sent the glass back to heaven.
There you
Yes.
go.
okay,
There you
that
go.
works.
Yes. You guys are progressing pretty much good. Now you understand who been running the show. The higher being,
Yes.
the higher family, I call him. And anyone have any question about flying saucer? What kind, why it run the way it run? You can talk to me. I will tell you the secret. Okay. Just in case
Okay.
you do ask, I will tell you how the alien ship work. There is what we call a ley line throughout your planet, throughout the
Mhm.
solar system, throughout the galaxy. The ley line, how the pyramid are built, is actually a quantum calendar transmitted device. It serves for multiple function. People of other parallel dimension can, if have the same ley line or pyramid, they can adjust the system and they can walk to our world. And we
Yeah.
can walk to the world. And you will see flying saucer. If you have what we call electromagnetic spectrum on your ship, you can see ley line. It's a bluish green color and look like a grid, a magnetic flux. And it has color like rainbow, like blue, some red, some green. And when the ship transverse, actually is riding on this current, like similar through your water being channeled through a pipe. And you see the forces pushing whatever object you put, like a river, like the boat pushing the river, or the river pushing the boat. And what is making the boat move? The flow of the river, right?
The current, yes.
Yes. So this is how flying saucer able to fly. If you're using technology such as your electromagnet, the key is you will create what we call a similar to a Tesla coil, a winding. You see your device have winding.
Yes.
This winding, you see, it create like coil. Coil is like different frequency. When you set them on the ley line, it get powered it automatically. And then when you create a system that power to create a glow, and guess what happened? When you create the glow, you can ride on the wave of the ley line that push you, that flow like a river. And so when the boat in the river is being pushed, so it looked to your eye, it looked like it have its own power source, but it's not. It's just a receiver. The craft is nothing more than receiver. Does that make sense now?
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And when the current it passed through when you want to change lane, guess what you do? There is what we call an adjustment you have to be made. We call like the railroad of a train. Then there's another ley line you can get that cross over. You can actually whoosh, turn left or turn right, As long you move it in the ley line, navigate in the ley line, you're good. Your ship always have power. Now, if something knock you out your ship from the ley line, guess what happened? Will you have power after that?
Most likely not.
No, you will not. See, this is when people tell you the ship has alien, all that are lies, all that upside up. So I'm going to reveal to you how alien craft worked. Just like this device. Do you see the way it's built? What do you think really powering it?
Consciousness.
Consciousness is in there. This is from the future. The future have a different way of powering things, you know? But while we're still in the past, I'm going to reveal to you the secret of the alien of your timeline. The alien in your time, they follow what we call a magnetic ley line map. And all they did not create a power source. All they did was create a receiver. You has already created different type of receiver. You call them coil. Does that make sense? Their ship is running.
Tesla coil.
Yeah, Tesla coil. Their ship is running on the same principle, where you can have a metal, a dielectric, which is like a capacitor, and then a dielectric, and you have a magnet. Put in right there, and then from there, when I just introduce it to the ley line, it come on, it start to glow, and the AI start to come on, which you higher your mind. Does that make sense now? The ley line was the magic behind all this. The magnetic ley line. Your body have them too. You call them chakra and acupuncture point. Minor, major chakra. It has
meridians.
Yes, everything that you have, the earth has. And the earth and the galaxy, they all have this magnetic ley line that ship use through the Stargate. You heard about alien being saying that earth is in the middle of a highway, a magnetic ley line, a Stargate. That ship trend was like a highway. Do you understand now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. In practical, simplicity, you see how your light bulb, it glow, but if you introduce it to some kind of magnetic field, it starts to glow too. Does that make sense? Like a Tesla coil, it starts to glow even as wireless. The same concept. So that's why you see whenever there's a ley line meeting each other cross path, they create a gas station. You call it the pyramid.
Okay.
We call it the truck stop. Where the alien come, get shower, get food, get recreation, have a relax, from your long journey. And then the galaxy, the solar system also has a ley line. That when you put your craft is like a coil. That's all it is. It's just a coil that receives the magnet ley line that you are riding in, similar to a boat is being pushed by the flow of the river. Do you understand now?
Yes.
Yes.
Imagine instead of the flow of the liquid, the flow of magnetic field, magnetic energy that is flowing, acting, behaving like water. But this magnetic field is flowing, and at the same time, if your ship is a coil, guess what that happened? You're getting all the power you want from it, as long as you stay on it. So your ship will start to glow to green because you know what a Tesla coil can do. It creates blue, green, this. But how do you control the ship? Easy. Your consciousness connecting to the structure, just ask it. And then it will move according to your will by asking it. It just happened naturally because you're in the ley line. Therefore, your brain become the computer of the ship. It's linking to like a being growing tentacle connecting to the structure through the energetic field. That's why I train you a lot. Get you ready, So does that make sense now about flying saucer technology? You guys thinking that a flying saucer got to have a power source. It does, but a power source is the grid point. So that means a flying saucer is a coil, a floating coil, a floating capacitor, nothing more. It's that simple. It does not defy gravity. It flowed on magnetic flow, just like your magnet float, you know, on opposite polarity, like a superconductor. Does that make sense now? When you have a superconductor, it float like that.
Got it.
That's what was missing in your science. Your science is thinking a ship must have its power source similar to a car, have its power source. But the alien does not think that way, nor does the future human. The ancient human, the modern advanced human, which is your Gata, and the future human, like where I'm from, we don't think like that. This is how we think. If it ain't broken, why fix it? If the universe is the earth has its own power, then use it. Why create something from scratch when you already have it in front of you? Nature already given it.
Got it.
So I'm guessing the Earth itself has its own. This way, the Earth is probably on a ley line or a.
It's on a ley line. That's why the ley line you see from the higher being, you see like a being holding up. That being is actually a ley line holding your earth up, you know?
Okay.
And the earth talk to other earth and talk to other sister planets, such as Mars and Venus. They talk to each other.
They do, and to the sun too.
Yes, the sun talk to other sun. That we call quantum communication. We call that through the ley line network. And that's the reason you see ship appear out of the sun, like this cube appear that is 10 times the size of the planet Earth hang around the sun. We call them suncraft, because you see a lot of ship coming from the sun. When you actually go into a UFO craft, you're going to realize your technology is more advanced than them. You didn't know that, did you?
More complex.
Yes.
Not so advanced, more complex.
More complex than them. And I'm going to tell you the secret of everything. Alien is not that advanced in technology wise. Let me repeat it again. Alien is not that advanced technology wise. All they did, they just capitalized on the power sources that already exist in nature. All they did, they just create a receiver, nothing more. Like your brain is a receiver from the conceiver, which is the higher mind, the spiritual plane. So by understanding that concept, they didn't have to create a power source at all. All they have to do is just capitalize on the power source that the nature's already given. So all they did is build a receiver, the same way you build a coil, the same concept. To receive. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
What create a glow? You already know what create a glow. Look at your Tesla coil design. Imagine you create a Tesla coil and it's into a ship, but it's a Tesla coil. But you said, where the hell is the power? So don't you worry, my dear. Go to the pyramid, set your craft on it, it'll be charged. It start to glow, and it start to go. Then the ley line start push you forward to wherever you set course on, like a train on a train track. But this train track is pushing you. Similar, you at an airport riding on an elevator. What's called a stairway to heaven or stairway down.
Escalator.
Escalator. A pimpcalator and all that. And in the airport, this escalator that is flat, that you just stand on it, it just moves, it take you point A, point B. That's how the ley line works. We call it the flow of river. That's what it looked like. Am I amazing? I break it down.
Yeah, they're working on trains that sit on magnetic energy. And they get propelled by that magnetic energy.
Yes, superconductor collider plane, where it does not need an engine. If you build on a ley line, it just pushes you so fast, you know?
Yeah.
All this thing that you hear in alien attacking base, this and that. Yeah, there's always been war, underground war. There's alien taking out the secret military base in their city. They took it out and find, because the key is military and alien always built their base on ley line.
Yeah.
Very cross. Remember, look at the ley line map. That's where you're gonna find the Nazi base, the alien base. You're gonna have alien base all over the world, and also you will realize every city is on the ley line. Hello.
Wow.
And so are slaughterhouses.
Yes, every city is on the ley line. When the small city is on the small ley line, the major city is on the major ley line, the major highway. See?
Dr. K, is that a ley line in the universe?
They have them
Across the
too.
universe?
You have galactic ley line. That means ship has to go through in order to make the jump from one galaxy to another, because you have to look at the galaxy. Wherever a major ley line cross each other, a galaxy will form. Wherever a ley line cross each other, a sun will form. The world is formed. Do you understand now? When two or three
Yes.
come together, star system are born. When you were created, this must be a ley line that connect to each other. Next thing you know, you are born into this world. That's the
Amazing.
secret. Magnetic
Oh.
ley line. On Earth, we call it Earth magnetic ley line grid. If you talk about solar system, we have a magnetic ley line grid that travels the moon. The moon has its own, but it also intersects. That's the reason you see that people build pyramid, is to calculate when the ley line gonna come up, when the ley line gonna open, you know? No, but ley line open all the time, but it does not go the place you want. You gotta wait the right one to open to the place where you are, your destination. Because how the universe work, it work like mechanical. It's like tweaked, like clock, but it cycle itself. You see, there's no mystery to the alien. I am the alien. You see my bald headed. This is my big head, like.
Gabriel.
Yeah, Gabriel, alien.
Carlos is an alien too.
Yes, me too. Alien help.
I
Alien.
heard you.
But do you see why your psychic power grows stronger when you're in the pyramid? Like, you see why we built the device? You see the shape? It look like a pyramid. It's to amplify the ley line energy around your body so it can reflect more to you. You see your device? You see that?
So
Yeah.
Gabriel, so be careful when you go near a pyramid and have your device. You know the deal now.
Mhm.
Might start glowing like a light bulb.
It will
I
get
know.
started. Yeah. So, do you see why Angkor Wat flying saucer appear, the Stargate? Because Angkor Wat is the anchoring, just like the pyramid. This that an anchoring place for travelers. You know, for the angel, for the heavenly being. They come through the ley line.
That's why you called an airport last time?
Yeah.
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, got it.
It's a Stargate area, like they said in the airport. I remember that, and we felt it.
Yeah. Yes. Do you begin to see how alien built the craft? Craft can be built from many concepts like capacitor or coil concept. Yes. Remember, the idea is to build a receiver because you already have the power source. That is the natural ley line of the planet, of the galaxy.
A receiver and probably a storage unit for some of that energy. You said capacitor. Capacitor will also store energy.
Yes, you will have that on your craft because if you ever get hit by other craft, you out of the lane, you have enough energy to push you back in lane. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm just giving you a heads up how craft work, you know, why it work, why the way it travel. And if you can see the magnet ley line, you find the magnet ley line map, you can look it online, it will give you, and then you find it, you find Angkor Wat, you find all the pyramid structure, even Easter Island, even pyramid, everything follow the magnet ley line, including all the great sites throughout the planet is built on a magnet ley line in the intersection. Even your city is built on it. Do you understand now? This is the secret. This is the power source. That's why you see flying saucer their highway, their lowway, their myway is on the magnet ley line. They travel that. Now you understand why they have the glowers. You already have the technology. There's nothing special about the BS. Nothing. Like this. If this, we build it big and you go to magnet ley, it start to glow. It start to use energy and it start to travel the star, you know? Ain't that beautiful?
Yes.
Yes.
And
Very knowledgeable.
how about stone? Stone can be used as craft. As long as you build it and then you begin to activate it and using in the magnet ley line, it begin to levitate. There's nothing magical about the BS. I know all the damn secret, you know, because I am the snuggle secret. Yay! And if you follow the magnet ley line, and guess what you're going to find? Remember that castle in Florida where you at? Look at it. It's on the ley line. That they're built by some white dude. He said he's discovered the secret. Well, I discovered the secret too. And I'm sharing it. The magnet ley line is the power source, the flow of magnet energy. All you have to do is just build a coil, a capacitor, and that's it. And that thing will power it. You know, I already know what a coil is. Coil has many forms, shape, or, you know, like wire coil like that, you know. Either way, it's on. This science, this is not magic. It's just pure science, pure understanding. It's got to be a power source powering the craft. Now you know. You always thinking about 0 point energy, this and that. Someone must lie to you. There's no such thing as 0 point energy. There's only
0 point energy in essence is the energy that's already present ambiently. You don't need a generator. That's a 0 point generator because the universe is already providing it.
Yes. If you put in that perspective, then I agree.
Yeah.
That's why the pyramid, that's why the magnet ley line, the anchor point, it's all there already. The power's already there.
That's
it's
not
not
what 0 point energy is.
Nor destroyed, but take on form. And that's
Exactly. So that's what
You
0
got-
point energy is. It's not. It's energy that is already present.
Exactly.
You know, the Earth runs off of it. The sun runs off of it.
Even
That's
you.
all that is.
Even you. See?
Yep.
Well, have you learned a lot today? How
Yes.
I begin to reveal the secret of everything.
Yes.
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 Okay. I told you, I prepare you to be a what? A UFO pilot. Now you're gonna be taught UFO technology.
Excellent.
Mhm.
You're gonna look at us floating around, say UFO.
Mhm.
Just
do
bringing
need
some of us started around the waist.
I do need people to know that the future is bright and everything is working now, including you, M1. Okay.
Okay.
The future
Okay.
is, and I encourage everyone, you know, where to buy you, M1. Buy them directly from the Satori. I said Satori. God damn, I can't.
I received an email today about that. I was confused, but now I got it.
Okay, tell me what you. Well, if you go to that, go to the website and you will click on it. It's already live. Everything is kicking, you know. And
Yes,
so I said,
that's great.
it's right. What right? So don't worry about nothing. Everything is fine and dandy, you know. And LT, he is with us all the way. You know, he is part of our community all the way, you know. So everything, it is beautiful, and we got the greatest product in the world. And now many of you asking, well, how you getting all these people about 0 point energy? Well, I'm going to tell you the fact. Let's define 0 point energy. People think 0 point energy is something from another dimension. I'm going to tell you the truth. 0 point energy, from my definition, there's no such thing. There is such thing as existing energy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
existing energy, meaning by definition, energy is not created nor destroyed, right? This is our
Right.
interpretation, but can take on form. If something cannot be created nor destroyed, that means it's already existing here. But the key is we have to give it form, right? Form.
Right.
In order to utilize it. So that means if we already have a power source, how do we accommodate this power source and make it practical for us? That's why the alien create coil. You know, coil can be created in 3 different forms. Something that's similar to this, like you see, like your Tesla coil, your electronic, and something that can create a geometry, like something can create like a capacitor, like the ship. In my book, we're talking about ship design. Help me out, guy. What's it called? Oh God, it's my old book. Is it in my old book? I don't know which one, but it had ship design, layer capacitor, and everything. It even had magnetic. That type of ship, if you put it to the ley line, it will start to float on the ley line. Do you understand now? I spent all this year, I wrote the technology, but the reason your mind didn't understand it, you didn't understand where the power source come from. Well, now I tell you the power source. It is the ley line.
Okay, that makes sense. Yes.
If your ancient ancestor knew about it, they can see the ley line, they can see the magnetic grid point, they can see everything, you know? And they built craft that ride it. That's all they did. They built
Is it
craft.
that one?
No, that's the older book. No, none of them.
Quantum River?
No, those are newer book. No, this is book. Maybe open that one. No, the one we just saw with my first wife picture on it. Open that. The one that with a beautiful person that me, my younger sister, my first wife, my ex.
Teacher.
I think
Yes.
this one might be it.
Yes. Try to
It has
open.
pyramids in it. It has wheels within wheels.
Yes.
What's the name again?
Kasol and how do you say her name? Kyo Noun Oach.
Yeah.
Let me see. Hold on a second.
Yeah. If you open that book, I believe you would see pyramid. You see, look close, it's capacitor design and seat. You know, though are real ship design from the future. Yes, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, you see it? You
yes,
see,
we can
look
see it.
closely.
Yes.
Look at closely. There is a layer capacitor. Metal, dielectric, and metal. When this ship place it on ley line, it will start to levitate. It will start to float up and take off.
Okay.
I remember this.
Yes.
Wheels within wheels. Book of
Yes.
Revelation, I think.
Yes.
Ezekiel wheel.
Those are the magnet drive system.
Ezekiel wheel, right?
Those are magnet drive system. When you put it in the craft, what it does, it allows you to change directional when you cross a ley line. Because the ley line flow opposite of each other. Some go this way, some go that way. You see? So
Yeah.
if you want to return, you got to take this ley line, the computer map it out for you in your ship. You go this ley line, you change track to this, and you come here. You see, the UFO does not fly in a straight line, it fly within the magnet flow. Yes. Yes. You see now? The ship drives on the ship and stuff. See, this system will only work when you are in the ley line. When you are no longer close to the ley line or it flow, it don't do nothing. Do you understand the secret now?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. See, he got it. Look at that. The drive system.
So I have a
Guys,
question.
Put it in our cars.
Like the Roswell crash, is that like a real UFO crash then? Did they
Look,
not follow the line?
Look, Super B. Yes, but also no. Yes,
Okay.
it is a real craft, but it's not the only one. There was many crash, just like you have accident on the
Yeah.
highway. Craft also have accident on the ley line highway. And
Okay.
there has been many crash, countless on your planet.
Wow.
Mhm.
Mm.
You can be floating. All of a sudden, someone can open up a portal from another dimension and jump into your lane. See? And oh my God, the stupid alien. Oh my God.
Yeah, they crash here.
And
Do alien aircraft, spacecraft have a horn like we do in our cars?
yes, they do. Yeah.
Do they flip each other off?
I know, right? They flip each other off too.
Anything is possible. Just like you guys flip each other off. The same thing happened in their world.
Gosh.
Where you get your galactic driver license, reptilian? Where you get your human? Beep, beep.
Gosh.
Do you see that book right there? I designed all them ships. Am I amazing? Look at the
Yes.
copy. What year was it?
Hey, that was, let me see. Hold on a
Genius.
Super.
See,
On the
I'll
front
find
page.
information right quick.
Look at the front, the first front 1 or 2 page. It should have copyright.
Published April 2006.
There you go.
So we should give one of these books to Kimmy, right?
Oh
Flying
no.
Told you, I'm flying saucer. Now, on the newer book, you will see flying saucer design was hand drawn. I don't know which one was it. Was it the Quantum River? Was it the Barame? Check Quantum River. Maybe Quantum River have it. There was ship design on that too.
I see the coils for the Q devices.
Look,
There's also the seashells. This is mainly for Q devices, from what I can see.
okay. I think it should be a flying saucer drawn. You know.
Look at the title on this book.
Engineer.
Let me see. Hold on. I got the book too. Hold on. Let me see.
Look at the title on this book.
That's the old one. That's what the one.
0 Point Energy.
That's for James.
That's James.
But the new one is.
One, two.
Kinetic fuel. I think third book.
Oh, here it is. It's called Quantum River. Quantum River. Here you go. And it's on page 136.
That's it.
136. Okay.
It's a craft, you know. All this craft that you built has to go on the ley line for it to fly and float. Because remember, like your boat, it cannot move without going to the river, right? That's how it works.
So I have a question about ley lines. Can they also be inside like our oceans and inside our planet too?
Okay.
Or just on,
It's
how does it
also
work?
186.
Yeah, 186. And you can see the torsion field too.
Yes. See, this is made from seashell. Will you make the seashell in that form? You see it? And you design, you see, instead of what is similar to a coil, a cone shape.
Yeah.
Yes. So by doing that, the craft will look like shaped like that. This was also, if you operate it on a ley line, it will work. It will go. Because what this ship design is designed to amplify your acupuncture point, your ley line. So your ley line is powering the craft, but the main ley line will give it all its other ability. You know?
Okay.
We'll amp it up. We amp up even you. The ley line will also amp up your psychic power as well. That's the reason it works. Do you see now? See page 186. Oh, I'm so smart. I can't believe it. Yay, I'm super smart. That's the reason many of you did not understand me. That's why I don't reveal all my secret. But today, I reveal the power source. The ley line. Hello. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. So does that make sense now to your brain? How
Yes.
how
Yes.
awesome super crew is? You know, how amazing that I tell you that you already know things, but you don't have someone to help put it together for you. That's the reason your device has an aura, like that, has a magnetic energy, That's why, because I designed it where it has its own, but enough to communicate with you. But if you enter the ley line, it will do amazing things. It's amazing.
So if we get a Q144 and take it to a ley line, we might blow up.
A
Stop.
Q1 or no, you get something like this technology to a ley line, it would do more what it does now. This thing was
Okay.
part of a spaceship. It's part of a flying
Spaceship.
Yeah, outer system. It's designed to amplify you. When you get to a ley line, you get more amp up. Now you can do amazing things. That's why you see ship can be made from stone. Now you understand the secret.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wood, stone, everything.
Everything.
It's your mind that's gonna power
Because
it.
amplify your ability. And that's why we can use.
Nice.
Now, I know a lot of American, they one thing, they smart, but they stupid at the same time. And we'll explain it to you. You are smart, you're good and figure thing out. But you are so stupid because you're doing it stupidly. Instead of taking the path of your least resistance like the alien, you trying to do it from scratch. So you tell me, which one is the easier path to get the result just like that? Or you might take, do you like take it 20 years, 10 years to figure out, or you just do it like that? Which path do you like more?
Depends what your overall goal
I
is.
think the finger right now.
Mm-hmm. Because the slow path is considered to be stupid because you look at it, you rebuild things from scratch, but why you want to do that if nature already got the power source for you? All you have to, just like nature give you a river, you build a boat, right? You can ride it. Why won't you do the same thing? The ley line is your river. Just build a machine to ride on it. That's all you need to do. It's simple.
Yeah. Even cars could have been running that stuff easily.
And I know why you did it stupidly. Because someone wants to make money with you. If they told you about the ley line and its power source, they can't capitalize on you.
Exactly. It's free energy.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Energy, right?
That's another name for 0 point energy. It's free energy. Because that's exactly what it is.
It's free energy for all, free for all.
Exactly.
I know, if the power that be tell you the ley lines of power, so you can build craft to float on, just like you build a boat to float on the river, you build a kite to float on the wind. They can't make money with you. That's why they didn't reveal that truth to you, but I'm revealing it now. In my book, there's craft. You can see it's easy to build. Told you, am I the best? Am I a UFO guy or what?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you are, definitely.
It's like there's a guy who was used a regular gasoline engine, but he used water, separate water to
water is
Stanley.
And he was able to, I think, a gallon of water he used to go from the East Coast to the West Coast.
That technology is normal. Let me tell you the secret of that technology. This technology is called electrolyte technology. What it means, they take battery and they stick 2 rods in there and they create this thing called, it start to bubble, Yeah. And then there'll be 2 gas that be given to you, oxygen and hydrogen. And all they did, when they create container, automatically the gas will separate itself automatically to oxygen and to one is hydrogen. The hydrogen one is going directly into the combustion. And then the oxygen, where does oxygen go? The oxygen, you can stick it into the pill type. Pill, I mean, I'm not pill type, but just don't worry about it. Just collect and you can release it into the air, you can
Or release it to the cabin.
into the
Or
cabin.
have it injected into a separate, or have it come in into another injector into the same chamber.
Exactly. But once the hydrogen burn, the end result is water. That's all they did. Nothing more, nothing less.
Yeah, but it would have been a lot of free fuel, which they didn't want us to have.
They don't make the shot caller, but you have to do it yourself, and you have to talk to the people who do it. The people has to make it happen.
Yeah.
But you got to know this: you have proactive people and pro-lazy people. Okay. The pro-lazy people, hey, if the guy see I have money, why want to do that? They don't care about the long term. That's why they poor. The word poor. If you guys don't have bill to pay, you become rich right now. The idea is to keep you poor. If you want to be rich, a rich man does not go to the mall. A rich man go to the thrift store. A rich man that's not looking for someone like a rich and filthiness. A rich man look for a whore. He can pay $20 and pound a putang and let it go back on the street. And that's how he think. If he want fun, but he want long-term relationship, a rich man looking for someone who loyal to duty. And simple. A rich man looking for a former woman who understand botany. Does that make sense? You know what a former woman is? If you ever see a rich man, how he operate, you'll be surprised. He can come to you looking like all raggedy. But if you look at his energy, this man is not, he's royal the way he think. Because a rich man, he don't give thing away without a price. You have to earn it. You guys never reach a rich man before, haven't you?
I have seen them a lot in Asia. They look like a raggedy, but they are rich, filthy rich.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
Rich, they don't do charity, but they will buy you food if you need it. Okay, the shadow work of this dog and pony show. Okay. Go ahead, Carlos. Shadow work.
Well, guys, we're gonna the class on shadow work is, I don't have anything really planned to share my experiences with the shadow work and what I've learned about with my shadow work. If we have time, we might do a little.
I will take you to the shadow world if you like.
Maybe on another day.
Okay.
All right. Right now, the shadow work is basically, in essence, we're all shadow and light. And the shadow is usually our undesirable part, our painful part. Is also part of us that's subconscious. We usually keep at a subconscious level. That could also be considered shadows, that which we're not conscious of. For the most part, for me, shadow work, how I do my shadow work is, instead of running away from my pain or running away from a negative emotion, I might have to suppress it for a minute. But what I normally do is I take time to write it down or make note what triggered me. And then I'll take time where I can be someplace safe. That's number one. You have to feel safe. Because you're going to be going to some deep, heavy emotions sometimes. So you need to be feel safe and where you're going to be undisturbed. You also have to, on occasion, remind yourself that you are safe, because the emotions can get very intense. It's also preferable if you have somebody you can trust that you can talk to, because the emotions can be very, very intense. I've gone into periods where the emotion was so intense that if I wasn't stronger, I probably would have committed suicide. Depending on what you get into when you're able to open, what you open up. So you have to have enough internal fortitude to be able to handle some of the stuff. But you don't, if you're not ready for it, don't work on it at that time. Just work on something lighter, or you get help. Sometimes life will throw us a curveball and we're going to need help anyways. But if it's too intense, if you get into something that's too intense, then work on something else or stop and go ground, go take a shower, do something that you like to do. Because shadow work is very painful. It could be, well, it's painful, but it can be very painful because that's exactly what you're dealing with. You're dealing with your pain, which you suppressed, and it's in your subconscious mind. It is stored somewhere in your body or someplace in your energetic field. Let's see what else. Now, for me, the best places I like doing my shadow work is in the shower for various reasons. One of them, it's a place where I would not be disturbed. Two, it's a place where the water drowns out all the external noise. Number three, it's a place I can relax and release a lot of the negative energy that I go down the drain. Because you're also going to need to do releasing. You're going to need to do breathing techniques, or at least breathe and release. If you like when somebody scares you and you go, you're just locked in a negative emotion. To release it, you got to breathe. And sometimes you'll need to stretch. Sometimes you'll need to use acupressure points, push on certain points to help release it. That will come with time and with study, where you need to, press and release and breathe to release the energy. A lot of times, subconsciously, we tend to push the pain away. This is one of the times that instead of pushing the pain away, you actually allow it to come in and you allow yourself to feel it, and you pay attention to what thoughts are coming into your mind. And you try and become as sensitive as you can to all the little thoughts. And you trace it down as far as you can go to the most subtle thoughts that are coming up. If you need to, you can ask Badame to help bring it, that part of you that you cannot focus on. You bring it, have Badame ask to bring that, which is locked in the subconscious, up into your conscious awareness. You're going to need to do, there's also a lot of reading and a lot of, because I know a lot of different modalities to help you deal with the pain, heal the pain, and rebalance yourself. So it's not where you're just focusing on a negative, or focusing on your pain. You have to learn how to heal it and do healing techniques, various different healing techniques. There are many different healing techniques that will help you to move different amounts of energy. Sometimes you'll move a little bit, but sometimes you'll move large volumes. Sometimes because you're also working at a multidimensional level and you're healing things from the past, your past lifetime. You're doing healing things from your bloodline. It may not be your past life, but maybe your bloodline may need some healing. And you'll be working at multiple dimensions, so you'll be moving mountains of energy. And that could be very tiresome. Also, you will go through a shift in consciousness. So you may need to get some rest. You may need to take time in pampering yourself emotionally, mentally, physically, however you feel the need to do so, and not work on anything for a while, because sometimes what happens when you heal some of these things from the past or past lifetime, there's a shift in consciousness, and then all your bodies have to catch up and make an adjustment. Knowing your how to heal, knowing foods, knowing about energy work, knowing about how to protect yourself, shield yourself. All of these are very important and part of your shadow work. Shadow work, you're doing energy work when you're doing shadow work. So all these things are very important. And again, have your support system. Very important when doing shadow work. Sometimes you just need to talk to somebody about the problem. Sometimes, those who have been through it will be able to tell you, well, this is what I've done. This worked for me. One day we're talking to Miss Gia, and Cynthia and I were offering some things from our experience. And Miss Cynthia had some techniques to use, and I began using them, and they work very well. Using the bottom A to dissolve the negative emotion, and then you use it bottom A to reprogram or put something positive in that area, and that has been very helpful for me. When you do your shadow work, um, you need to have an idea of what is what your end goal is as far as yourself, your state of being. What does it look like when you're fully healed? What does it look like, to be fully actuated, or a higher being, or like I said, or when you're done when doing your healing work, what will it be like? For me, I use a lot of Christian perspectives. For me, one of them means when you're created in the image and likeness of God, it means you're created in the image and likeness of love, which is very important. And then created in the image and likeness of the divine, to give you an example. This is important because what is divinity look for you? And we all have these different images. For me, it's unconditional love. But I learned to use that for the image or the being I wish to be. Because a lot of what has come up in my shadows has been a lot of anger, a lot of fear, a lot of judgment, a lot of condemnation, self-condemnation, which the condemnation is a double-edged sword, because when you tend to be very critical and condemning of others, subconsciously, you're also being very critical and condemning towards yourself. When you're being critical, condemning towards yourself, you're literally attacking yourself. You're literally beating yourself up, and even sometimes, in a matter of speaking, committing murder against yourself, because you're using your own thoughts and energy against yourself to break your own energy system down. And these are some of the things that I've learned doing my shadow work and listening to these little thoughts. And there are a lot of things that will create that inner conflict where you're like this with yourself. And a lot of that has come from teachings from society as well as religious teachings, where, like in the Christian belief system, if you commit a sin, you're born in sin, as an example, and if you commit a sin, God's going to punish you and you're going to go to hell. And that creates a mentality of judgment and condemnation and of being critical. And so you treat yourself that way, but you're attacking yourself. You're in conflict. When I was able to become aware of that in a certain area of my life, I began to, I had to learn self-love. But the way I did it is that I took all those moral values and I began to just say, okay, and just get rid of them. You don't do this, don't do that. Guess what? That's gone. Now it's going to be, I'm permitting it. I'm allowing it, because a lot of times we have those inner conflicts where we don't allow ourselves to go into that sinful nature, which is, a shadow. And so we fear it. And then we put ourselves down mentally because we're not supposed to think like that. We're not supposed to do that. And we beat ourselves up subconsciously. So I began to say, okay, I'm going to let that go. I'm going to let that go. I'm going to let all these different things go. And I allowed myself to sit with my desires, no matter how raunchy or perverted it was. I got to the point of non-judgmentality. All and everything was acceptable, no matter how bad it was. I allowed myself to be with it and just be in it and just look at it and stare at it. And I chose at that moment, after being with it for a while and allow myself to play with those ideas, I chose that even with these imperfections, even with these shadows, I chose to love myself anyways. I chose to forgive myself, and I chose to love myself as I am now in the present. Rule number 2, you exist. Number 2 is you are here now. Love yourself now as you are now. With shadows, with imperfections, with your foolishness, your stupidity, your ugliness, love yourself now. Forgive yourself. If any thoughts come up or feelings of, oh, you're so stupid, or you're going to hell, dismiss them. Don't push them away. Acknowledge them and then let it go. And go back to loving yourself. Hold on to that love as you are now. Acknowledge your imperfections, acknowledge your shadows, acknowledge your quote unquote sinful nature, acknowledge that, but love yourself anyways. Then ask yourself a very important, while you're holding on to that unconditional love, ask yourself a very important question. Based on love and wisdom, is this a wise moral value? Based on love and on wisdom, because wisdom the true good wisdom will support you and uplift you. It'll keep you safe. It'll keep you healthy. According to love and wisdom, is this moral value good to keep? Now, when I've done that, I reviewed my moral values that I was taught, certain moral values that I was taught in Christianity, and based on my understanding of this topic, I decided it is a good moral value. However, I'm going to keep it based on love and wisdom instead of judgment, condemnation, and fear. So I had to get rid of all the shame, which started leaving anyways once I released all the moral values to begin with and got to what I call 0 point. This is how, when you do that, you start actually experiencing unconditional love. The Christians talk about it, but they have no clue. When you get to the point where you can love yourself without being labeled as stupid, dumb, without feeling any shame, without being afraid of your sinful nature or dark nature, and you love yourself in the present moment as you are with everything that you have, that's unconditional love. And then through that experience, I realized Christians have no clue, but also realize that you can have good moral values, but they could be, depending on how they're enforced, could be very destructive. Much like you could have some very good black fertile soil, and if it's contaminated with arsenic, lead, or mercury, whatever seed you sow in there, that tree is going to be toxic, and that fruit's going to be toxic. So you can have good moral values, but if they keep shaming you into keeping it, then that moral value is still going to be toxic. Where you decide, well, I'm going to keep it because it's a healthy and wise thing to do. I'm going to keep it because I wish for people to, it's a good thing to honor people's word to each other and their relationship. It's good to keep because you're showing, you're manifesting now something positive rather than something negative. You are keeping a value or a moral value based on love and your desire to be better and bring in better than out of fear, which keeps you trapped. And it's like you're trying to get to heaven by avoiding going to hell. In other words, you're trying to walk from here to the corner store walking backwards. It makes no sense. You walk from here to the corner store walking straight forward. So if you wish to go to heaven, you focus on moving forward in the direction you want to go by that desire. not by an opposing desire. Do you guys understand me so far?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. A lot of our teachings religiously, and even from family tries to keep you within a certain construct out of safety, and so it's fear-based. It's also sometimes a form of control to keep you with a certain behavior, sometimes out of safety, and sometimes it's just they're trying to control you. You know, they say it's love and they maintain well, but it can become a prison. Um, and since they were brought up with this, what I call destructive mentality, that destructive mentality is normal, but it's not necessarily natural. And that's what we got to look. Just because it's normal does not mean it's natural. Normal means it's become common. Just because it's common, it does not mean it's natural and does not mean it's good for you. A lot of things that I've learned are actually the flip side. Some of the things I've learned during my shadow work, for example, um, let's go with sexuality for a moment. Sexual energy is also the energy of creativity or creation. A lot of the sexual energies are controlled through rules and regulations, as well as shame, judgment, condemnation. The sexual orgasm is a tapping into the joy or ecstasy of God feels when God creates. So when you attach shame to that, what happens is that whenever you have a sexual desire, you feel shame and you're judging and condemning yourself. And that shame usually is based on somebody else's um, standard or value, not your own. Now, if you can condemn yourself, anything that you create will also have that shame and condemnation. If you have a, let's say, if your sexual desires have shame attached to them, that means when you have a sexual desire, there'll be shame attached to that. But also when you give birth to a child, because it came from a sexual act, it will also have some tainting of shame. And if you have a shame strong enough, you will desire to destroy it. So if you have a strong sexual desire with a strong amount of shame and a strong amount of condemnation, that means if it's strong enough, that negativity is strong enough, you'll want to destroy it. That means you'll want to destroy yourself. That means you'll want to destroy anything born of that desire, which could be children and other people, or even if you have a desire for somebody else. On the one hand, you desire them, but on the other hand, you want to destroy it. And you see where that conflict is at and how dangerous it could be. And you're going back and forth, internally destroying yourself. And you wind up, and if that gets strong enough, you will act out and either destroy yourself or destroy your desire, that which you desire. So that's just an example of how destructive this can be. What I've learned also, and this is from doing a lot of healing, and it goes back to Christianity, what I've learned, not from what they teach, but by doing my shadow work, is okay, we're created in the image and likeness of God. That means we are created in the image and likeness of spirit. We're not these physical beings. This physical body was made out of the dust of the earth. And then, like it says also, B, you have a question?
Oh no, I accidentally did that. I don't know how to get rid of that. Just ignore it.
All right, no problem. If you have a question, just take a moment just to unmute and just let me know you have a question, because I'm just going right now off the top of my head. And if you have questions, let me know. I don't mind if you pause me for a moment and you pause for a moment and ask a question. We're created image and likeness of spirit. These bodies are made out of the dust of this earth. And the Bible says we are in this world, not of it. That means we're in these bodies, in these flesh suits. And in the Christian Bible, it talks about how the body returns to the dust and the spirit returns to God. Okay? So whatever you identify yourself as in this lifetime, it's all part of the illusion. It's all part of the dream. It's of this world, and you're not of this world. You are in essence a spirit, which is, if you know what a fractal, there's a difference between a fractal and a fraction. Think of if you get a glass vase or dish or something, you drop it, and it breaks to many pieces. Each piece is an incomplete part of the whole. A fractal is different in the sense that it's much like if you go to the ocean with a glass of water and you scoop up some water. That water, even though it's smaller, it's whole and complete. It's its own entity. Very much like the water from the ocean you took it from. It's able to produce life. It has everything in it. That's the same thing as the ocean does. It's a smaller, but yet a whole and complete part of the greater whole. It's identical in every way except for its size. So that we're all fractals of God. We're all fractals of the universal consciousness. Whole and complete. We're mini-me's, we're smaller duplicates. But we're never really disconnected. We only believe we're disconnected, and we'll go a little bit into that. Another thing it means for me is you're created in the image and likeness of truth. Truth is eternal. It does not change. And anything that is not true tends to work against us. To give you an example, you are beings that through your thoughts and your words, you can manifest or create. In the Christian context, it says, if you believe and do not doubt in your heart and command a mountain to be cast into the sea, it will be cast into the sea. In other words, if your conscious mind and your subconscious mind are in agreement with no contradictory thought, no conflict, you will move mountains. And pretty much all of us believe and do not doubt that we're physical beings, that we're powerless, and that we're limited. And so we move all these mountains to create that reality of limitations, that reality of temporarily existing. So we're 1,000% of the time, the such thing exists, we are creating and manifesting based on what we hold to be true consciously and subconsciously. So we could create or move mountains either with negative thoughts or positive thoughts. We're doing it all the time. So we use that ability, that God ability, to actually work against ourselves many times. And I'll go a little later into how we can use that, how we use that to manifest, but how we could also use that, turn it around and manifest things in a more positive way. Another thing that for me, created an image and likeness of God means you were created in image and likeness of love. Think about for a moment about public speaking. How many people here can stand up in front of a crowd of thousands and give a speech or give a class? Why? If you can't, why? Why are you fearful? You're fearful. Why? One of the subconscious reasons is because what we really desire is love. And when love is withheld, that is like withholding life. It hurts. Also, when people, even if they're not physically doing it, verbally, they're doing energetic attacks. We know what that is like. So what we're asking actually is that we're asking or desiring love. We're creating image likeness of love, therefore we desire love. One of the issues we have, which we could go into a little later, about becoming more of your own source of love. Be more connected so that other people are not your source of love, or you can reduce that control or that dependency. You're also created in the image likeness of the divine. Your divine nature is your first nature. Being human is your second nature, which you've heard that term. You've done it so much, it's like second nature. Guess what? Your spirit first. You've been doing so much human stuff that's become second nature. That's exactly what it is. Your second nature, not your first. You just got to remember what your first nature is. You've been there before. You've been to heaven before. You came from heaven. You came from the greatest joy. You came from the peace. You came from being unified, being one. And that's what we try to do, is get back to that oneness, back to that connection. Let's see what else. Your shadows are your triggers, but they're not always negative. They could be something positive, could also be a trigger for your shadows. To give you an example, how many of us here desire to be with a significant other to be happy? Okay. That is natural. There's a desire for that. But if you go deep enough, some of that desire is based on your misery. You have, in general, people have enough subconscious hatred, self-hatred, that if you look at it as love as an energy or a frequency, you desire to receive love from somebody else to alleviate some of your own internal pain from, because you don't love yourself enough. So you're trying to get that source of energy from somebody else. Now, what happens when you do that is somebody else is your source. So you become, to some degree, vampiric or black hole for love. And if that person doesn't give it to you according to your expectations, you become hurt, you become angry, and you attack. When you take time to sit down with your sadness, your fears, whatever, your angers, and you discover what are your expectations and why. And if you go deep enough, you might find that there's certain things that you hold against yourself. And since you hate yourself and you're not getting that source of energy of love, you're going to look for it in another person to give it to you, and they're going through the same thing. When you start taking those little thoughts and you start to dissolve them and get rid of them and replace it with a positive programming, because that's exactly what it is. It's a program that runs in the background, your subconscious. When you rewrite that program into something positive, something self-loving, then what will happen is you will not need to go look for love outside of yourself as much. You may still desire it, but your need will be less, and you'll be able to be by yourself if you need to. You'll still have a desire because we desire to join and become one, but the need for it will not be as strong because they're no longer your source of love. And if you do this enough, or you feel more joyful, more whole, more complete within yourself. If you find a partner that does the same thing, it's going to be two springs of living water coming together. So if one's temporarily depleted, the other one will be giving, and they will not be burdened because you won't go that far down, won't go as far down because you know how to do your healing work. Okay. And you'll be supporting each other, and it won't be as much of a burden because you won't be as triggered. because your expectations won't be there like it used to be before. You'll give the other person permission to fall down, and then you'll be able to get your, you can even assist that person to come back up. And as you do your own healing work, it's like you doing trailblazing. You've been there, you've done that. So somebody comes in behind you with all these problems, you can stay calm and say, well, this is what I've been through, this is what I've done, da 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 da. And they're like, oh wow, you're right. And they could create a whole shift right there and then right in front of you. And I've done that a few times. Now, how to use this also in a way that's positive. This manifesting this and your shadow work. Let's use you having a job and then you lose your job. The first thing that I want to say first, besides the anger, you're also gonna have fear. Your emotions are telling you where your programming is at, where your faith is at. You believe more in a negative outcome than a positive outcome. You're into survival mode. You're in fear. This could happen. This could happen. I can't do this. I can't do that, and so forth. You're in fear. You believe and do not doubt in a negative outcome. Your negative emotion, your triggers are your red flags. They're also your beacons home. And this is what I mean by they're your beacons home. They're letting you know where your program is destructive or negative, or that you're manifesting something negative. You, based on education and experience, to summarize. All right, we're gonna go a little bit into faith, and then I'll go back to this. All right, we know that with quantum science, that the observer influences what is observed. And it started out with finding out whether light is either a particle or a wave. And if you think about it, they've run this all across this whole world. They've done these experiments to find out if light's a particle or a wave. And based on their education, their experiments and experiences, they said, well, based on all this information, it's going to be a particle. Some said it's going to be a wave. Some say it's going to be both. And guess what? They were all right. How's that possible? Same exact experiment, different conclusions, but all came out true. Simple. What you believe in, do not doubt. That's what faith is when you have your everything you've been taught and your experiences combined together, create a belief that you do not doubt. Therefore, it manifests. So once you break that down, understand that, you start having to re-educate yourself, create new experiences to have a new outcome. And a lot of times, you will know what your programming is or your faith is based on depending on your emotions. If your emotion's fearful, so like I said, somebody lost their job and they go into fear. All right, based on their experiences and what they've been told, their education, they can't do all these things, so now they get into fear mode. Okay? So now you're in fear mode. Why you're fearful? Start looking into what's triggering you, causing you to be fearful. It's survivability. It's this, it's that. Look into each one and create an answer and reprogram it. This is where the bottom A comes in, like Cynthia has used before. You have bottom A neutralize the fear and have it replace it with something positive programming. Because the subconscious mind does not like to be reprogrammed. So you can't just listen to all these audio things to reprogram the subconscious mind, because that's a hard way of doing things. You got to go beyond the subconscious mind. In magnetic mind, they talk about going to the superconscious mind to reprogram the subconscious mind. In other words, go to the bottom A to tell it to reprogram your subconscious mind in this way, to dissolve this programming and then rewrite it with this programming so that you now have that running in the background. And that's how you start healing and manifesting something positive.
We call that using the higher being to edit your film.
Exactly. Very good. Now, your conscious mind or conscious being desires happy outcome, safety, and all that. Your subconscious mind, its only thing that it cares about is keeping you safe. That's why it doesn't like being reprogrammed. Your superconscious mind, or your bottom A, or your higher being, all it cares about is an experience. Whether it's good, bad, ugly, painful, it doesn't care. All it cares about is the experience. So if you tell it, hey, reprogram my subconscious mind to this, it doesn't care. All it wants is the experience. It's happy with the experience, regardless if it's painful or not. Use that to your advantage. You want to be happy? Bottom A, dissolve this fear, rewrite the program to this, and let it be something positive. And then move forward. Because you attract and repel things based on what's programmed in your subconscious. And this is one thing about Christianity, is that you're moving mountains constantly. But when your subconscious mind and your conscious mind are in conflict, one, you don't have peace. Two, whatever's your subconscious mind will win out over your conscious mind. But also makes it much harder to manifest what you truly desire. The Christians are programmed to believe that they are sinful, deserving of God's wrath, deserving of hell. So they believe and do not doubt that. We're looking at the world today. If you look at it, it's all chaotic. We've all manifested this negative reality. When in truth, we came from heaven. We are divine beings. We're created in the image, likeness of love. So that means we're deserving of that which is good. We came from heaven. We deserve heaven. And Christianity says, bless and do not curse. How can you bless God with your mouth and then curse your brother, which is created in the image and likeness of God? So if you are speaking negative things out, let's say you believe you deserving of hell and damnation, then all that which is in the image and likeness of God is deserving of hell and damnation. You believe that of yourself, you'll believe that of your brother and sister, of your neighbor. But you don't realize you also believe that of God as well. And truth is, we came from heaven, it's our birthright, or we deserve to go back. When you start making these changes, then your life starts to change. Because you're deserving of health. You're deserving of good. You're deserving of joy. In fact, how many times we've heard from our teachers, have fun. Have fun. That's the heart of God right there. It's love, but it's also saying, have fun. How benevolent is that? Thing is, we're too programmed to hate ourselves, to hate our brothers, to hate sexual desire, to hate this, to hate that, and then wondering why everything is falling apart. And our speech shows it. How many times we say, damn, or this is crazy, or something like that? How many times do we cast negative spells? Or I hate this. Guess what? Rule 3 and 4. 3 and 4. You're one with all that is, and whatever you give out comes back. This is why forgiveness and healing is so important. This is why it's also important to have a good higher image of yourself, and I use created in the image and likeness of love. We have to learn how to forgive, and forgiveness is not what I have been taught in Christianity. I had to learn this through shadow work, and that is forgiveness is simply, think of somebody does something to us that causes us pain. It's much like they give us a hot burning coal. And that coal is burning us and causing us pain. We choose not to forgive. So we choose to hold on to this burning coal. But we're angry at that person, but we're holding on to that burning coal. Forgiveness has nothing to do with that person. Forgiveness is you going like this. I choose to release it and go back to healing, going back to the higher version of myself, going back to love. That's what forgiveness is for me. Let go of the burning coal. Let me go back to the state of love. And there's have to be like sometimes continuous. You may have to go back to that situation several times over within yourself to release more of that pain, another layer of that pain, and do the more healing work. It could be love, it could be joy, whatever. there's a certain point where you can feel love for that person instead of anger. And you can love that person from a distance, but part of learning to become love or to be love is, and love yourself, including your shadows, is that you will draw a line to keep yourself safe. Being loved means also loving yourself and keeping yourself safe and protected. And it's your shadow that may keep you protected by saying, if you cross this line, I'm going to have to attack you and protect myself. That's you becoming one with your shadow. Okay? But you will no longer feel malice for that person. Even if you got to call the police and they got to get arrested and go to jail, or something happens harmful to that person, you don't have malice for that person. You will eventually, for me, is my experience, you will start desiring the best for that person, even if they have to go through hell. You desire them that they wake up and heal so that they can be a loving person, because that's what you actually desire. You are loved, you desire to be loved. So you desire that person stop that destructive behavior so they do not harm themselves or harm others, because their behavior may be destructive not to themselves, may be destructive to the community. And if it's destructive to the community, it's destructive to you and themselves. It's not sane. And insanity is normal, but does not mean it's a good thing, and it doesn't mean it's natural. Okay? So as you begin to release or return that state of love, you could actually, and as your triggers will be diminished, you can actually, if you have to interact with that person, you'll be less triggered off. But still to keep yourself safe, you may have to stay away from that person. But when you think of that person, you can actually maintain your love. Why is it so important? Rule 3 and 4. You're one with that person. That person's a different aspect of yourself. Number 2, whatever you project outward, even if it's an emotion from your heart, if that emotion is projected outward, it's going to come back to you. You're going to create that reality, or that destruction will come back to you. Why do you want to project hatred? Why do you want to project anger? Why do you want to project destruction on another person when you're going to eat of that? It doesn't make sense. That's why healing and shadow work and forgiveness is so important. That's why you have to learn how to be that love and learn how to be joy. And this is one thing I'm learning more, working on more now, is learning how to be joyful like a small child. Small child has an open heart. They love. They don't care what the person looks like. They don't care about a lot of things. They just see somebody else they can go have fun with. And that's what we have to learn how to get back to. But we've put so much stuff, we've packed in so much pain and destruction, and we sow so much pain and destruction. That's why a lot of higher entities can't deal with us, and why we're at a lower frequency. And we manifest destruction. These are some things I've learned through shadow work. And I've learned, through the shadow work, about we are God. We are gods in the flesh. It's not just about Jesus Christ being the Son of God. We're all the children of God, because if you look at it carefully, when God in the Christian Bible talks about God blew into the nostrils of Adam and became a living soul, the word Ruach HaKodesh is Hebrew for Holy Spirit. Ruach could be translated to either spirit or wind. Ruach HaKodesh can be translated to either Holy Spirit or breath of God. Well, think about it. God breathed, or God put the breath of God into Adam, or into the golem, the body of Adam. So that was the fractal of God put into that vessel. Every one of you is a vessel. You have a spirit. That spirit is source itself. You are divinity. You are love. You're already that higher being. Just a lot of our belief system is going against us. We're doing like this with ourselves a lot of times. So when you learn how to accept your shadows and heal yourself, you can do more of this. then you'll start having that peace that surpasses understanding. Then you'll have more of that love and more of that joy. But you also start more consciously, when you're triggered, you'll know, okay, I gotta go back and see why am I triggered. And you go into it, and that way you write the program so that you have subconscious. See, you're being that trigger is an alarm letting you know what your subconscious programming is. It's in conflict somehow. It's creating something negative. You have a wrong teaching. And so that's how you start using your triggers as your beacons home. That's like, this is where you're disconnected from source. Let's rewrite that program so we can be connected. The more you connect with, the more you heal that, the more you connect with that, the less the outside world becomes your source. So you're less in fear. It's harder for people to trigger you, for things to trigger you. You can stay centered more easily. These are some of the things I've learned from the shadow work. Shadow work also let me know the lesson behind a narcissistic relationship, and that is learning to love yourself. Learning that the narcissist and the victim of the narcissist is a different side of the same coin. Usually, what I've asked every time I've come across somebody who's had a relationship with a narcissist, I've asked them, "Are you self-critical?" And they're like, "Yes, very, very critical." Then you've merely manifested your inner dialogue with yourself. That's why it's very important to go ahead and rewrite the subconscious programming, because you're manifested somebody, you hate yourself, and you've manifested somebody that hates you too and agrees with you about every negative thing about yourself. Any questions?
No, sir.
All right, so
Great job.
Great job.
Good.
Thank you.
That's why I reveal myself. I brought the trickster to you. The trickster, you need him. He can tell you right off.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to talk a little about the trickster. Sol brought it up. This was also revealed from shadow work, as well as doing a lot of reading over the many years. The trickster, whoever seen the movie The Mask?
With Jim Carrey.
With Jim Carrey, all right?
Yeah, I
and
saw
the one
that.
who created the mask was Loki, who's the trickster. The trickster, if you look at the tarot deck, is also known as the Fool. The Fool is not a fool. The Fool will present something before you like he don't know, like he's stupid. But there's a lot of wisdom. And they create mischief so that you can do two things. One, the mischief is there so that you can be triggered and know what's deeper within you. But also the Fool is tricking you so that you can learn and develop discernment. Because a lot of secrets are hidden in plain sight. A lot of secrets are not there. I mean, they can be hidden behind other truths or other falsehoods. So you have to be discerning and be able to go deeper. And that's what the trickster does. He reveals you to yourself. And they will do that through tricks and pranks and get you frustrated and angry. And but they're there to help you with your discernment and finding that deeper wisdom. And I had a conversation with the Naga King, and he showed me some of these things. So there's a lot of wisdom behind the trickster if you're able to dig deeper and ask questions. So everything is about digging deeper. Now, how to use this also to your advantage.
Side operation and the Ark of War. That is very important.
That's part of it. Like I said, there's certain things that a lot of things of power are hidden in plain sight, but we don't recognize it. Now going back to shadow work, as you go deeper and find what subconscious programmings you have, and the deeper you go, and you find out what causes you to tick, that is also a practice and a discipline. Because you will, as you go into the more of the subtleties of yourself, you'll start looking at things around you and you'll start noticing the subtle things about people. Not just the things they say and present before you, but you also start realizing certain things that they don't tell you. What words they use and what words they don't use. You also know why, more reasons why, or a deeper reason why people do certain things. Why? Because they are also you. They're just another version of you. You will know what, because you yourself are this way because of this reason. When you look at somebody else, you'll see why they're that way a lot of times. And so that will be very, very beneficial for you to know, because then once you start reading yourself at a deeper level, you start be reading other people at a deeper level. Doesn't mean you won't get fooled. It just means you'll notice more things, and then you better be able to better guide them. But also, you will project yourself onto them. If you know that you are love and you are love and that you are light, you have people who are dark, and you gotta let them be. But those that are around you that you're friends with, you can start seeing that light in them, but you also know better how to focus on that, because whatever you focus on, you give power to. That what you think on the most, you become. So when you start focusing on their light, you'll have a better idea how to bring that out and cause that to grow. And so now when they're dealing with you, they'll deal with you at a higher frequency than before. This is how what happens when you come into a workplace. You carry that light within you because you've released it, but you're also focusing on the light in that person. You learn how to deliberately tap into that light in that person and cause it to shine. And you'll cause your whole workplace, you'll cause the whole atmosphere to change just with your presence. But when you leave, guess what? Everything goes back down into darkness. And I've seen that happen many times.
That's why I can take away your power. You just hit the nail right on the head. Right there. You see what I did? You just hit it. You just hit the nail right on the head. How I can able to take away your power and give you back instantly. Because you guys focus on me, right?
Uh-huh.
And so when you focus on, I focus on myself, and then I try to reflect myself to all of you for you reflect yourself. But immediately when you guys beginning to think that your power came from you, without the help of the mirror, that's when I break the mirror and see if you get your power now. The mirror broke, meaning you didn't understand consideration or respect. There is element in your team that you have to respect. But first you got to respect yourself. You give yourself power. Your quantum physics say, if you want to know the world, everything in it, you got to see the world like a hologram. Everything is connected. By focus on your complete self, that is you, heaven is in you, then everyone else will begin in line with you, because you are orchestrating each other.
Yes.
Yes.
Very good. Thank you, Kusol. Anybody need a break? Let's take a 5-minute break, and then we'll come back and maybe wrap it up.
Someone give the full. See?
Yeah. Miss Maya looked up the fool. You can do your research on the fool.
I have been playing with tarot cards since I was a teenager. This is a hobby that I have.
I do want to talk about side art. Very important. You understand for that. Can you touch on that, Carlos? Side art, when you come back.
You talk about side art between of yourself.
So
well, let's take the break first. We'll go back and talk about the fool and the psyop. Because it's very important to understand what Kusol's talking about. It's very important. So let's take a 5-minute break. I got 9:31. Let's come back at 9:36. If you need a little more time, you can wait a little bit. I know we've been on here for a long time.
Byron makes me change this water into a coconut juice with a ginger. Do that for me, by the way? Yes. Done.
There you go.
Young coconut. I love it. Hey, Monica. Did you talk to Sharon?
Hey, Kusol. No, I haven't talked to Sharon about a couple of days. But yeah,
Tell me she
last
doing
time I
good.
talked to her, she's doing good. Yeah. Trying to keep the kiddos in line.
Okay.
Full-time job right there.
Yeah. Mhm. I wonder what happened to that found did that guy have to redo everything again because he added my name and stuff. I don't know what his game plan is, you know. Because
I have
our name is
no idea.
me either. If he take me out, I'm okay. I don't care, But my happiest thought is I gained the experience. A lot of people, in this lifetime wish to have some of my experience. My experience is experiencing you guys from my own perspective, like that. Don't forget, guys, cryptocurrency is live and everything is good. See? Ah! Mm-hmm. Look, a lot of people that watch me that have some have positive inspiration, some have very twisted inspiration toward my perspective, but it's okay because I must say, I do not agree with free speech. I agree with mindful speech. I do not believe in freedom. I believe in mindful choice and activity. Does that make sense? Because that word freedom itself is dangerous. Even the Unimetrics say that too. Freedom will open door to twisted viewpoint. And it also open door to twisted idea, twisted perspective that will cause disrespect for themselves or other around them. That's why. So the best way is mindful speech, mindful thinking, mindful activity. Be considerate, be mindful, be fine with meaning, be respectful to yourself and others that share the same space with you. That is ethical and integrity because it costs safety, domination, instead of injury domination.
Yep. I've learned to deliberately sow light into people. Just this kind word. It doesn't have to be anything big. There's a lot of small little words. Yep. You got that same haircut, same barber.
Yeah. Side up and the fool.
Yep. I know I've forgotten. We are not there yet. Well, we're gonna wait. Is everybody back yet?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what he's saying is it's learning how to deliberately say certain words that will sow love and light into people or joy into people so that they reciprocate that. You initiate the relationship or the interaction. So you sow light. And every little tiny opportunity, you sow some type of word or some type of light. It could be an act, it could be just a word or a thought. So you do that more and more frequently. So you're sowing frequent seeds of light, and that will change your environment. Give them a little something, a little nugget to help them think differently. All righty. Is everybody back?
I'm back.
Yeah, I'm still here.
All right, good. Miss Maya from Virginia, go ahead and tell us about the tarot, what you wanted to say about the Fool.
I don't know. I just posted, and you said, "Oh, you should look to the meaning." I said, "Oh, I have been playing with tarot cards since I'm like teenager years." So, and I like the image. That's why I posted. If people were not familiar with the image, now they know what you're talking about. Yeah. When you mentioned
the Fool and the tarot deck, and I have a lot of different images depending on a type of deck.
Yes.
Because they have, they'll have their own version of the Fool, but in essence, one of the significance of the Fool is that they're tricksters, but they're very smart. And Loki is one of those characters that's a trickster, to give an example. So it doesn't mean they're evil, but they like to play around, and they're there to cause discomfort and havoc sometimes to get you out of your comfort zone, to get you to look deeper, get you to grow in wisdom. So that's why I call Kasol the trickster, because that's what he'd been in essence doing. But the Naga King chose to come in his form because of there's a lot of wisdom, hidden wisdom in a trickster, and he likes Kasol because he's childlike. So that taught me a lot when I dealt with that and dealt with my own shadows concerning Kasol. How you doing, LT?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hello, we're still in
What's
class.
up,
We're
LT?
Yeah, we're talking about shadow work.
Sorry, I'm late. I'll just listen.
All right.
Yeah.
We're almost done now.
I have some news for you guys afterwards
Go
too.
ahead.
I'll wait till you finish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now Kasol was saying about psyop. I'm going to use a different to create a different image of what he means of psyop. It's a mind F. And that's exactly what there are a lot of people doing. Whether it's truth or lies, what's going on right now is they're screwing with your mind. When in Rome, when the country's falling apart, in order to keep people from knowing what's going on, they created the circus or the Colosseums. People were entertained, they were busy, they didn't realize how things were falling apart. In a spiritual sense, all the psyop is exactly the same thing. They keep you busy. They keep you looking here, looking over there. You're chasing this bit of truth to try and find another bit of truth and find another bit of truth and what's true and what's lies. And meanwhile, you're looking and looking and looking and looking. You're not going in here. You're not going within. You're not activating the God that's within you. You're not healing yourself. The psyops could actually be used to heal you because the psyops are going to trigger you. So you can use it for the psyop to reveal your shadows. Excuse me. So it could be used that way. But all that psyop has helped me to actually learn what Kasol is saying. Is one of the reasons I came with Kasol is because through all my shadow work and all the psyop triggering me, I began to realize, I knew what he was talking about looking within and the God within, because through my shadow work, it helped me to reveal to me the shadows of Christianity and the misteachings of Christianity and how things truly are. That, like I said, we are enemies of God, of spirit, of the creator, of source. Because we actually carry a whole lot of power. And that is our own power we use against ourselves to keep us bound here. To put it the simplest way. When you sign a contract for employment, you're in essence putting your life force onto that agreement. You're giving that agreement life. Your life force. When you break that agreement, you lose life force energy, so to speak. You lose light. That's why I would never, even verbal agreements, you got to try and do your best to keep, because that agreement has its own consciousness, has its own life. And if you keep the agreement, you keep your life force. If you don't, you lose your light. And it can come from anywhere. It can come out of your health, it can come out of your relationship, it can come out of your finances. It may come out of your children's health, because it'll go down the line. If you don't pay for it, then your children might pay for it. Or you'll pay for it in the future life. So you don't make agreements you can't keep. And you also, geez, I lost my train of thought. But basically, going back to the psyop, you need to look inside and activate those things. And that's why he talked about all these other people like Forbrun, David Icke, and so forth, in the sense that even if they're giving you good information to help you navigate the times now, none of it's all as far as your spiritual development, your inner development, your God development, it's distracting you from that. If you think about it, if you activate yourself enough so you can manifest your own food and manifest your own reality, what will all this other stuff matter? If you could sit there and manifest something, your health, make it your health, improve your health by some of our practices, what will all this other stuff matter? Ultimately, it won't matter. Ultimately, it won't matter. But what you're able to manifest now will affect you in future lifetimes. All right. For right now, anybody got any questions? All right, we're just gonna go ahead and finish it here. LT, you guys gotta wait till he gets back. But I'm gonna go ahead and no questions. Any comments? Anything anybody want to share?
Carlos, in the beginning, you mentioned that Cynthia used some methodology to work with, like, the shadow work, the people doing shadow work. Can she share with us
Sure.
what is the methodology?
Sure, Miss Cynthia, you want to go ahead and elaborate on that?
Yeah, what I do is you can identify it, say it's a fear, or you can identify it as a worry, or you may not even know what it is. You can just touch a place of your body that seems to be in pain. You say, Barame, I have an issue. You touch the body or you name it. So let's just say, Barame, I have an issue dealing with fear that I'm not going to be safe. Can you hear me, Barame? Yes. Barame, can you clear that fear to the root source and cause that I won't be safe? Yes. Is there anything I need to know about this fear, Barame? And you may get a yes or no, and it will present itself. So then you ask Barame, thank you, and would you clear it now? And then you check to see how long you need to wait for it to clear. And once it's clear,
make sure you blow.
Yeah, you will blow. And so after you do that, then you say, Barame, will you insert a positive feeling or emotion to replace that fear? Yes. Can you do that now, Barame? Yes. And then you blow on it and you ask, how long will that take to insert it? And so you wait, and it's just like anything else we're doing. You do it with Barame and ask your Barame to clear it to the root source and cause and insert the positive. Does that make sense?
There you go. You can do that with thought patterns as well. If you constantly have a negative thought pattern, you can tell Barame, basically to remove that and rewrite your subconscious mind to think this way instead.
Exactly. I use it all the time on everything. Any questions?
This is great, Cynthia. Thank you for sharing with us.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Cynthia.
For
Thank you,
anyone doing
Carlos and
shadow work,
Cynthia.
this probably will speed up the process.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And also, I want to add that I need some of you guys to do interview on me from session to session, because I don't want to let other people interview me. I want my own people to interview me. It's good.
Where'd you get that gray haircut?
That's when Carlos come in line.
What was that? Gabriel came in underwater.
I said only Carlos could do that part.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to come up with some questions or something eventually. I don't know. I've never really done interviews before like that. But
It's
any other
called
questions?
interview dialogue, freestyle.
Freestyle.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
We'll work on that. That's an idea. Anybody have any questions, any suggestions? All right. Now, one thing I like to remind people, fear.
I have one thing to add on, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Please be aware of side eye. It will destroy and disappoint you. It never ends until you look inside you. That's the real answer to everything. And it comes in all
Once you go down a
forms.
rabbit hole, where does the rabbit hole end? It never will.
Never
You'll
will.
always be distracted.
And
Go ahead. Anything else, Kusal?
I'm so glad that you guys begin to understand how the higher being work now, and who is Barame. It's the higher being. That means your spirit take on all their form. That's the thing. And I hope you understand now why the shaman was amazing in the work they do, you know. And there's no, this up there is not recreation. Please don't get me twisted or wrong, because up there is dangerous when you don't follow certain rule. And the key is to be respectful. If you and give value, especially to yourself and the rule set up. There's the rule is like a binding between you and them. If the rule are broken, if you don't apologize quick, you will get punished quick. It's that fast.
I'm going to make
Anything
a point.
to add to that?
Go ahead. I'm going to make a point about fear. I want you to think yourself, okay, we are all creators. We're always creating.
Mm-hmm.
Fear, in essence, is another version of you using your power against yourself. You have believed and do not doubt that you are worthless. You believe and do not doubt that you are powerless. But you are created in the image and likeness of God. Therefore, you're using your own power of creation to limit and bind yourself to powerlessness. That's something to consider, because then, again, shadow work. What thoughts are keeping you stuck in that limitation or that powerlessness? And that's what you got to be aware of and go through the process of rewriting that program so that you can go ahead and be more connected and therefore become more and more confident and more powerful. Even if it's a small step, a little bit, small increments, it's still something is better than nothing. When you're able to say, okay, I can defend myself a little more, I can put up the shield now, a little more effectively. Another one I like to use is use verses in scriptures, basically, of God revealing the mysteries and secrets, and use that against people to reveal not only their secrets, but to also have their energy and their negative intent fall back upon them. So you create like a shield, a mirror shield, that whatever they desire for you falls back on them. If they lay down traps for you, let them fall into their own traps. You're not using any of your energy, but you're causing them to use their own energy against themselves.
You definitely set what we call, you are setting what we call boundary,
Exactly.
That's what you're doing. And that's the reason I taught every one of you about respect, because as you see the group, I watched you guys without setting any rule. I want to see if you know the rule automatically. And then I realized none of you have realized the basically called basic ethic, basic respect. And I saw that in the group. It's kind of, it kind of made me realize I need to take action, but I don't want to jump the gun. I want to make sure that your higher being tell you. But as I observe more, as I begin to learn that we're not in sync with the same basic understanding, because everything fall under the word respect. That's where consideration, ethic, rule, to regulate your ability come from. And regulation is a good thing. It's not a bad thing, because we are powerful beings, yes, but we also have to develop discerning as well. Don't you agree?
Exactly. Yes, I agree.
If we unleash a power too much and the receiver can't handle it, it will destroy them. It might destroy us too. So discerning is very important. And that's what I want to introduce to all of us. Discern come from respect. Respect yourself, give yourself value, know your limits, know what you can do in a certain predicament, know what you can do. Safety first, that's the point. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Now, it also just told you as well, if you think about it, you're using rules 3 and 4 to your advantage. You're not putting out any negative energy, but you're also telling Barame their energy they put out, let it come back to their own heads. If they want to kill you, let that energy fall back upon their own head. If they want to trap you, the same thing. But you're not spending any of your energy. You can still sow love. You can still do what you got to do. But then, and that will come back to you. You're just enforcing law 3 and 4 and telling Barame, make it quicker for them if they want to cause destruction. That's it.
That's it.
You're not sowing destruction. They're sowing their own destruction. You just keep out your business and learning how to sow higher vibration good seeds. That way you show, like you said, respect, which comes from love. When you love something, you honor it. When you honor it, you show it respect.
The word honor meaning giving, you're giving it value. That's what it means.
Yes, exactly.
And you got to be careful, guys, when you help people. Some people does not give your action value, so you got to pass it on. Meaning you got, some people will take what you give because they give you value, they respect, then therefore dash it out. But there's people who you help them, but they be resistant because they don't give you value. I mean, they don't give you respect. So therefore you let go. Go ahead and know your limits and just walk away. Trust me.
Yeah. Any more comment? Any comments? Any inputs? Any feedback? Questions?
Yeah, it was great. It was great from my perspective.
I would like to ask something.
Okay. Go ahead, Cynthia.
The last statement, as they're talking about, be careful with your power, be careful what you do with it. They may not be able to handle it, is the best advice you will ever get in your life. Having had to learn this lesson many, many times over, just save yourself a lot of heartache and do what? Learn this lesson. Others who have had to go there. So that's all I'm going to say.
That includes information. You got to feel people out.
Absolutely.
There is a book from Stephen R. Covey called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I don't remember them all, but one of them I'll summarize this way: seek to understand before seeking to be understood.
Exactly.
That will save from a lot of heartache and problems right there. Seek to understand before seeking to be understood.
Exactly.
As a supervisor, save me from embarrassing myself before I choose somebody else's butt out. It has saved me in various different ways.
And give yourself value. Only give value to those who give you value. Then you give them value too. Does that make sense?
And that will help you figure out if they value you or not, or if they can handle the information you have. Not everybody at the same level. I can't talk to somebody in church about what I've talked to you guys about. They won't resonate with it. So it doesn't make sense to you can't argue somebody into heaven. You just let them be on their way. You talk to them at their level, but you don't go too much deeper. There's some that you can take it farther. You can have somebody who's intellectual, way deep, way out there. Yeah, they're so intellectual, they're dumb. So even them, you got to watch out for. Because if they're true, a lot of people can be very intellectual, but they regurgitate what they've learned.
I don't like fluent.
When you live it, you can actually explain it to somebody where the average person can understand.
An addiction. Please be addicted to positive things. Don't ever be addicted to something that can destroy either you or the one you love.
All right. Anybody? I think Maya also had something to say.
Oh no, I was just about to say that this was great information today. Instead of
it?
going
Device?
against.
What is it? Okay, you want me to ask Carlos about that? The device said, please inform the group about like call home. There is that.
I'm hearing some background noise. I'm not hearing what you say. What was that? Please.
I don't know where the background noise come from. Okay. The device say, please mention about different home, different environment that have been that colonized that. Be careful when you go out there, make sure you bless that place and ask permission, because you enter their realm, they can do things to you because you broke the rule.
Okay. Yeah, very good point. I've learned this in Christianity. I've learned this also in something called holographic kinetics. When you enter an area, you are in their domain. Or in holographic kinetics, they talk about you're in their game. If it's their game, they have their rules. They have dominion over it. If you go from here to Russia, you got to play by Russia's rules, correct? You go to the country, you play by their rules. There are certain spirits or entities that have dominion over certain areas. Certain areas can be physical, like a geographical location. Certain area can be a belief system. Okay? So if you go into that area, you got to play the rules of that area unless you get permission from that entity or the lead person in that area. So like if you go to a church, you ask to pass permission to do certain things before you do anything. Because if not, those spirits, you'll make them angry and they can attack you. And so you gotta be, you gotta have
mindful.
that permission, at least spiritually, before you go and do anything. Same thing. That's why also before you do a healing, you ask permission or ask by the May. Is this correct? Can I do this? Or at least ask an individual, I like to do this. Can I do this for you? Because you're getting permission to go into temporarily take over that domain, do what you got to do, and then release it back.
Yes. Believe me, them entity are powerful, very powerful. Because when you're in there,
yeah, like Pele. One of the biggest one known is Pele. You know who Pele is?
No.
Yeah.
He's a god.
Volcano
Pele
gods.
is up close and personal.
Okay. Pele is the entity over the Hawaiian Islands. If you take a rock, he's going to hound the hell out of you until you return it. All right?
Yep.
To give you an example. So that's just one of the most well-known ones that I'm aware of. Pele. Many stories. People taking a souvenir home, a rock home, a souvenir.
Hawaii,
and they've
So we called it the super crew. That's her domain. Yeah, Biden may say, if you can see what we see, you look at the Hawaii, there's a giant being right there, a bit more than one head. Like holding that island right there in their hand, like that. And then she had more than one hand. It's a being, a female being, you know. It's very big. If you go
show
to
up as a young lady, sometimes she'll show up as an old woman. And she has little entities that walk around with her.
entourage, we call it her entourage, her children.
Entourage?
Yeah, entourage, yeah.
Yeah, entourage, yeah.
Entourage.
She has her own entourage. She's a rock star.
Well, you're right. That's the reason Barry may want me to let you guys touch on that, because you guys, when you go to a place, you're like a vampire. You have to have permission, you know. Now, you know how vampire have permission to come in? You're like a vampire. When you go play, you have to get the permission from that place, from the entity, the colonies, or the people inhabitant that area, you know, or else it's going to be hell to pay. And you got to bring them something too. Flower, fruit, as a gift, because you're in their domain and ask permission, you know. Then once you have their permission, they open up the realm, everything just fine for you. But if your friend don't do that, everything might happen with your friend, but not to you. It's like, it's strange how it works. But if you ask for coming together, like as a group, then when they approve it, then you offer them something. You ask Madame, Madame tell the spirit in Madame, can I have be approved by the entity over there? You talk to them, entity, can you allow me to come and seek refuge in your place? And if you hit the word yes, you blow. Is it done yet? Yes. Then you bring out a pear or something to offer or manifest a food. Here, I manifest this for you. And then they see it, they can feed on it, you know. Manifested food is good for the entity and human and the demon and the angel. They do eat manifested food.
Okay.
Don't forget that. You
That's
can
good to
manifest
know.
food for them. Mhm.
That's good to know because that doesn't cost us anything if you think
Yes,
about manifest the food, and you can give
food
it
and
to them,
beverage.
and they're more likely to take that than probably the physical food.
Because they can't digest the physical food. That's what they
Yeah.
don't realize. They are etheric civilization. But for some reason, manifested food is digestible by human being and people, and by the demon and by the ghost. They can't eat the manifested food. This is the thing that you have to realize. Physical food mostly for human, not for them. But the manifested food is for all of us, 360.
Good information. Thank you. Anybody else? Any comments?
Good information.
Yeah. Any questions? Madame, anything else? All right, I think
If
that's it.
first, are we still waiting for LT?
I haven't. So I'm just gonna continue. I'm gonna close out, and then if you want to hang out, you can hang out. But I'm gonna finish up because it's 10 o'clock at night, and here in the East Coast.
Okay, thank you.
Now, if you ever get in trouble, that's why you have the photonic child, your flying saucer child, or your photonic snake. If you ever get in trouble, you say, by the way, there something is after me. You hear, and then say, call your photonic child. That's where they come in. You see? Don't forget that, because you create them for a purpose, right?
Yeah.
To be your warrior. It's like a video game, RPG. But if you ask permission, I don't think you have that problem. But we human, we sometimes forget, you know. And if you do forget, you apologize. You manifest them food and they forgive you. It's simple courtesy.
I'll share a story if you want to, if you have the time. If not, we'll close.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Probably good information. Most
Yeah.
likely.
I lived through this, what we're talking about 10 years ago. I was ignorant. I still don't think on my side I did anything wrong, but on the other side, they felt I had disrespected them. So in dream time, the spirits came and started binding my legs up like a mummy, and they were going to choke me off with these energy cords. And as it was going up, I was asleep. And as I woke up, it was up to my chest, and I realized I was going to die. And I called out to my friends in the inner earth and called forth and said, come help me quick. And so they came and they took manifested food to the ones I had insulted. And immediately all the bands released and it all cleared away. So I can tell you firsthand. Yeah, you want to be respectful.
Exactly. There is in your house, there is what called Lady of the House. She's really cute. And if you ever need her to wake you up or bring you food, she will. You know, and you won't be hungry. The Lady of the House, if you are American, you will see her as like you know, like them country girl, dressed very nice, you know, in white or in pink. If you are Cambodian, she appeared to you as a traditional Cambodian woman with pyramid helmet and with flower, and you smell it. Now, if you are Latino, she will come into like dressed like an old, innocent Latino person, you know, from Mexico, that's very graceful. She appeared in that form. So whatever race you belong to, she appear according to your folklore. She's called Lady of the House. And she is assigned to every house, you know. It's automatic. It's from, so you gotta be aware of that being. And the best part is she tell you things that happen in your house. For example, if you have a wife or you have a husband and he cheat and she tell you, you can check with her. Lady house, what, anything happened in the house? You say yes. What happened? Oh, your husband brought 3 women over here and did something like that.
Oh no, they're gonna be buying all them 2 6s now.
Patrón, I tell the secret. Well, then you tell her, well, make sure that if you bring in more women over here, make sure the women cannot find their way out. So next thing you know, you say that to lady in the house. That means the person in the room, they try to get out of the room, they can't get out. It's like when they open the door, they end up coming through the door again.
Wow.
You didn't know that, didn't you? Đôi thay dùng phápជំនាញទេហ៎ Cầm aoមនុស្សនឹងចេញណាពួកនឹងរត់ចេញ It's like ចេញចូលចេញពីទ្វារនឹងភ្លាមមកចូលទ្វារផ្ទះភ្លាម It's like the same door you when you become lost in that the house. It's like you open the door, you think it's outside. Once you walk into the door, you're coming in the door again. It's like that. It's like someone's like that. See? You didn't know that. The lady house has that ability. And then as a man, you can tell lady of the house, it's my wife, cheat, make sure none of them can find their way out. And next thing you know, wait until you get home. But if you don't want him to cheat or whatever, cheat. If he bring a man, if she bring a man, make sure once they come into the house, he cannot see her and she cannot see him. And they be in the same room. They can't see each other. Meaning she's trying to talk, hello, are you there? Where are you, hon? And then they don't hear you. And then the guy said, where are you? They're right there, but they can't hear each other or see each other. The guy will see only empty room. The girl will see empty room. You know, the lady house has the ability to do that. They can confuse the being. They're right there, even about a foot from each other, but they can't see each other. Or hear them. All they see is like the same room, but they cannot perceive each other. I taught you the secret, didn't you? Lady of the house. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hey, yeah. Mm. My lady in the house, guys. She looked like a young woman, and she take a form look like Srei Mom now.
All right, guys, we're gonna finish the live. Casola, you want to advertise?
LT, yes, LT here. LT. I told LT told me he's gonna be teaching another class. You know.
Yes.
Yes, I would like to advertise. If I'm wrong, okay, everyone can get throughout the internet. You can now buy UM1 at goddamn, what's it? Just go to unimetric1.com and there's a link that you can buy UM1 from the exchange now, and it's live and everything is good to go. And please support what we do, everyone. And I appreciate your support. And you out there, please subscribe to my channel. And if you want a device, go to ByronMay1.com and you look at here, see cryptocurrency UN1, and where is and Unimetric 1 right there, and where's the Byron May and Byron May right there on the back. The scene ByronMay1.com. Go to shop to get a Q device. I'll do deposit. COSAL 123456789@gmail.com for any deposit for the Q device. But UM1, you have to get it. Go to unimetric1.com. There's a link for you, and some of you must have Ethereum or Bitcoin in order to purchase it through the exchange. That's it, unless LT got something to add. LT, you there? I guess you don't have nothing to add. LT, you have anything to add? Nothing. Okay. LT say he gonna be doing a teaching another class, one more class for each one. I don't know what day, what time.
Okay.
So that
We'll
would
work on
be
that.
so that would be on him. So to teach.
Okay.
So that's all I got. Pretty much is everything is dandy. It's looking good. You know,
Good,
that's all I
good.
got. I don't have
All right.
anything else to add. Thank you.
Well, we're gonna say bye to everybody in YouTube land.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good night, YouTube, Boob Tube.